Hello, welcome back to our Take Up Commentary. Today we're gonna watch John Dupee's police interrogation. Now, I've never seen an interrogation on this channel, right? And we're gonna watch our very first one, right? One of my favorite predators that has come from TCAP as a whole, right? John Dupee. This video is pretty long. It's 34 minutes long, right? I'm expecting a long video out of this, right? But yeah, I would recommend bringing your snacks, right? Bringing your snacks, maybe snuggle up. Maybe watch this at night when you're in bed comfortably, right? Something, because we're gonna be here for a while, right? Yeah. Today I'm in the closet again, right? Sadly, I couldn't be on my desk, right? But if you like to catch a predator, right, check out the channel. I have enough videos of TCAP, to last me a lifetime, right? The famous shirt, yo.
I don't know. We're just
waiting.
Did you want to you want these pencils?
Okay.
You got it?
I can't wait, man. I'm excited to hear John Dupee again.
It's a pleasure working with you, gentlemen.
Pleasure working
Absolutely.
with
We
you.
had some pizza together. Oh, whatever. Took the pizza.
Is that John Dupee talking, or am I tripping? Because it doesn't sound like him, right? I've already paused it. It's a long video. We probably shouldn't pause that much, but it sounds like him. But also at the same time, it makes no sense, because they're like, I'm happy to have had pizza with you guys. Like, what are you talking about? You're currently in a police department, right? Like, it's hard to see. Sorry for the quality, right? It can't go any.
Pleasure working with you, gentlemen. Absolutely. We had some pizza together.
I think that's him.
Took the pizza.
They're treating him like a child. It's so sad. I went to that house.
Yep.
Funny. It might actually be him because he looks extremely worried for being for joking around a second ago. Oh, I muted it. Give me a second. Apologies. Hello.
And you signed your rights downstairs. We just before we talk, I have to sign another form.
Get your hands out of your pockets.
This is the same stuff you initialed downstairs. I just want you to see that your name is there and just initial again and sign if you're willing to talk to us.
Where is my body?
We haven't gotten to that point yet because we want to talk to you.
What? You say, where's my buddy? Yeah, okay, so it definitely wasn't him talking like, man, I'm so happy to be with you guys. We just had pizza a while ago, right? That must have been the other detectives in the
You
room.
initialed downstairs.
He's about to sign something else. He's not going to read it. Well, he should,
This is the same
but
stuff you initialed downstairs.
doesn't matter.
I just want you to see that your
For
name
him, I
is
guess.
there and just initial again and sign if you're willing to talk to us.
Where is my body?
We haven't gotten
Your
to that
bond.
point yet because we want to talk to you.
So he's asking for his bond already.
Before, we wrote out
I don't even
those
think they've
charges,
charged him
but
yet. They just have, basically, what do you call it? What is it called? They have prepared him to be interrogated. They take all of his measurements and shit. Pause. They take
we
all
wanna
of his
talk to you
measurements
and hear
and
your
stuff.
side of it,
Your side of it.
and then we'll go from there.
Just sign it, John Dupee. Quickly. The less you think, the better it is. The toilet paper.
You just need to sign. One more.
His forehead, wrinkled with worry. So good. Is he crying?
So you're from Norwalk.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there.
Yes.
Jesus.
Are they still in Norwalk? Are you single?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For a fact.
No, it's just that dropped you off.
Mm-hmm.
Any other siblings?
My brother?
My brother. Which, rest in peace. Okay. I don't know if you've seen kind of, my videos on him, right? I've actually, looked at some of his TCAP wiki, right? John Dupee's life is currently, his whereabouts are unknown, but at the same time, he is definitely in a very bad place in his life, right? He legit could be, dead, really. Because his parents kicked him out, right? They actually disowned him, I believe, and then also his sister and brother, right? The sister had dropped them off at the Sting house, and his brother, right? The sister and his brother. I've already said it like 3 times. Anyway, they both died in a car accident while John Dupee was in jail, right? So while he was behind bars, he basically got the news that both of his siblings were dead, And I believe John Dupee was actually the oldest one, which is a bit sad, it really is. But it's also the brother's fault, right? I think he drove drunk and like hit a tree near the police department that this police department. I believe that's what happened. But yeah, those siblings are both dead, as of now.
And I was a boy.
You have a little boy. How old?
10.
He has a little
She's
kid.
Mm-hmm.
You have full custody? Visits? What's
Visits.
Where is he?
Lives in Norwalk.
And you work for UPS or you don't have
I
to
just got laid off until like holiday season coming back around.
Right. UPS in Norwalk?
Mm-hmm.
He is a bit difficult to understand, right? But he is talking about his son, right? John Dupee does have a kid somehow, right? He managed to reproduce, but he has a son. He's 10 years old, and I believe he said he lives in New York, right? With I believe his baby mama, right? Baby mama. But
Do you work like through the night or during the day?
Early morning.
in the morning.
So why do you think you're here?
I went to our house.
I went to the house
And how did you learn about that house?
because of that girl.
I talked to that girl.
Funny, great. This is
Know
so
what
good.
The girl's name is?
Bailey. Brittany
Bailey.
is Bailey. Out of the
And
two.
how were you talking to Bailey? Were you talking on the phone?
Both.
Like actual voice-to-voice conversations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you first meet her?
Internet.
What part of the internet? An
Jesus, man.
application?
Mm-hmm.
What was the app?
Whisper.
Whisper. What even is that? Is that
And
like
what do people go on Whisper for? Like,
Facebook
what drew
Whisper?
you to Whisper?
Just to talk, chat,
With people you know?
Chat and
or
stuff.
strangers? Or
I mean,
what's
I
the
met
goal?
maybe like one person that I know down there. That's it.
Yeah.
There's people like all over the United States.
Oh, okay.
the United
Do people use
States?
their real names?
I mean, I do.
No, he
Do you
doesn't.
expect when you meet somebody that's the real
No, he
name?
didn't. John Dupee didn't use his real name. He actually used, he used his first name like in ways. He called himself Johnny Connecticut, right? But his name is John Dupee. I don't know if he like legit used John Dupee at some point, but it was confirmed by Chris Hansen that, he did use John Dupee, Johnny Connecticut, John Santoro. So he does have a couple of other names that he used.
Their name?
But
I
yeah,
don't hope. I mean, I'm telling the truth,
sorry.
What name do you use on Whisper? You use John Dupee?
No, I use Johnny Connecticut.
Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
I do use my name, then he
Do you have any
lies.
other online names you use?
No.
John Santoro.
What's the name Santoro or Santoro? Do you ever use that?
That's my middle name. He's gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I mean, I have. Because, I mean, I just got in trouble, so, I don't want people in my business.
Right. So that is a name you use on social media sometimes?
I mean, just once or twice I have. Like, if people want to be asking my last name and stuff.
That's what you use?
Yeah.
Mm.
Does that mean anything to you? That's special to you? Like, how'd you come up with that?
Yeah,
It's just random.
Okay.
random. So yeah, now he's.
You're on Whisper, and what were you looking for on Whisper? Just guy, girl?
He just said that it's pretty common. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna gripe on John Dupee, heavily for saying that he wouldn't use his entire name online when trying to talk with the randoms, right? Because that is a normal thing to do, right? I don't think you would call yourself, John Dupee, to talk with strangers. You would use maybe your first name, how he does it, and then something else, which is, it's a bit more safe, So I'll give him that, but at the same time, him saying that he uses his name online, and then legit that being disproven, like, seconds after that is lying, right? So I can't. I can't get him out of this one,
It's just to meet somebody on
I'm
the
dying,
phone.
Dutch.
And so how did you connect with Bailey?
Just talking.
What?
Just talking and just hit her off and just kept talking.
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you talk about? Was for just guy, girl?
Wait.
It's just to meet somebody, have a friend.
Okay, meet someone, have a
And so
friend.
how did you connect with Bailey?
Just talking.
Just talking. But like, how'd you actually find her?
We were just talking and just hit it off and just kept talking.
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you talk about?
Sports. Her moving,
Sports.
Cali to here. Family.
Say again?
Moving from Cali to here.
Oh, from Cali to here, so they
family,
moved.
Brothers, sisters, pets, food we like, everything.
Wait, I'm having trouble
Things.
understanding him, but he's basically saying that they talked about sports and her moving to Connecticut, right? Which,
From Cali to here.
okay, yeah.
Family, brothers, sisters, pets, food we like, everything.
Oh,
How long were you talking with her?
Like a week and a half.
Yeah.
we gonna have to go. That is so bad.
And when did the conversation change to actually getting together?
Yeah.
A couple of days ago.
How did that?
Jesus.
Like, did she invite you, or did you say you wanted to see her?
Both.
Can you tell me a little more about how it all came
Jesus.
together?
She said that.
I would actually want to know how that actually transpired, right? That's a big word for me, right? How that actually came to be, right? The whole, switching from being friendly to being friendly. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, like, I don't understand how people, like, move into a conversation like that, right? Maybe that's exposing me as being, like, a loser, right? I get it. You don't gotta bully me more than, some of you already do. I'm gonna be honest. Some of you are mean to me, right? But, how does that really move with a stranger? I feel like that would be so weird. Especially with a child. Like, come on, like, how easy or difficult is it to really do that? I feel like, I don't know, man. The people behind these personas, usually they say that, like, they have the predators, come to them first, right? They initiate the conversations, right? So what did he really say? I don't know if we'll get to it today, right? But
More about how it all came together?
She said that, I'm real cool, and I said she's really cool.
Oh my God.
And she said,
What?
you're really cool, and maybe we can hang out.
Jesus Christ, yo, that sounds so childish, right? To be like, well, she called me cute. I mean, cute. She called me cool, and I called her cute. I mean, cool. Why do I keep saying cute? Cool. And then that we should hang out. Come on, man. That sounds so childish.
I said, you sound like you're sweet too.
Sweet. Oh, God. Christ almighty.
And then how did you find out about that house?
She told me
What'd she say?
No
that
shit.
she was living there, and
I should
her
come
mom-
over.
And I guess her mom, she said, went away or whatever. And then I was gonna go there and watch the football game with her.
What football game?
Steelers and the Ravens. And then it just
This
turned to
famous
something
ass game, yo. It's making me really feel like I should look up this game, and watch it. I feel like I should really see what John Dupee was missing out, or was lucky he missed out, because I'm not really, a bit of lore on me, right? I'm not a big sports fan, right? I like more basketball than anything, but that's because I'm from Dallas, right? That's kind of the main sport we played, so I'm kind of more into basketball than football, but I can see. I don't know. I just don't like being hurt like that. Call me bitch if you want, but I don't want to be hurt, right? Especially me. I'm a tiny thing. I feel like I die.
I was gonna go there and watch the football game with her, whatever. And then I was gonna go there and watch the football game with her.
What football game?
Steelers and the Ravens.
Christ, man.
And then it just turned into a fucking nightmare.
It turned into a nightmare. So dumb, yo.
Some sex talk
It turned into a nightmare. That sounds so stupid.
between the two of you?
Any sex talk?
I mean, a little chatter,
Yeah.
I mean, I had no plans of going over there and having sex with her. I had no condoms or nothing. I mean, I brought food to eat with her and snack. That's all I planned on doing.
But that sounds so
Did
weird.
you tell her you were gonna bring those foods?
Yep.
What foods did you bring?
A Snapple,
Cheetos?
potato chips, and I brought a candy bar.
A candy bar. What candy did he bring? The dark chocolate. He brought dark chocolate, right? My man. No, I'm not gonna say that, right? This guy's not my man's, right? But Cheetos, right? Cheetos, man. Oh, I've told y'all before, right? when I was heavy watching into John Dupee, right, I actually really like Cheetos at a certain time, like frame. I was like so into like cheese Cheetos. I was like, man, they're so good, you know. No wonder John Dupee, you know, risked it all for, you know, for for cheese Cheetos. But also, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't like Snapple like at all. I feel like it's a very rare occasion that I actually like drink one and I'm like, whoa, this was actually pretty good, right? They usually taste like medicine to me, like medicine, soap, you know, a little bit of that. But you know, I'm from the South, I guess. I don't. Maybe that like. I hope people actually agree with me. I'm not being like completely like grilled in the comments, right? Please, right? Do not do this to me.
It was chocolate caramel because she said she likes caramel. So
Chocolate caramel.
Yeah. So you said you were gonna do, you said you were gonna do these things for her, and you followed through and you did it.
Yep.
Jesus.
So when you talked about having sex with her, that's kind of why,
Man.
we see that you followed through with some of the things you were saying you were gonna do. So that's why we're a little concerned. You said you were gonna bring the chips and the iced tea.
Yeah. Okay.
You said you wanted to be inside her.
Oh. Okay, let's stop it there, okay? Let me, I was here waiting for some comedy, right? But I forgot what type of video this is, right? I know they have to get into like that type of topic, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when they talk about these things, they really do get uncomfortable, right? This is why also the deep dives kind of take a little bit to make, because if you've seen my latest one, right? Man, was it difficult to read, right? Chuck Harding was probably one of the most, difficult reads of my deep dive, catalog. But I was gonna say like, actually I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Screw it. Let's just keep going.
You want to be inside her.
Oh, that. Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute.
It's just hard to.
I wasn't gonna have sex with her.
Yeah.
Like the whole, it's a bit of a slippery slope type of mentality, right? But that's kind of what the detectives are kind of there to do, right? Is take one idea and then like flip it and make it like something else. You know what I mean? Like detectives are a bit of like master manipulators, right? In a way, right? But they're the good guys, right? They're mainly the good guys in most occasions, right? But they're like, oh well, you brought everything you said you were gonna bring, right? So you did everything you said you were gonna do, right? So if that's true, right? If that really rings true to everything you were gonna do, right? That basically means that you were also gonna do that with that girl. You know what I mean? You're also gonna follow through with the whole sex thing. So.
Do you talk like that with other girls?
You just say no.
Have you
I
ever?
really don't even. I'm not even on there much.
Okay.
Like, I swear to God, I'm not.
I'm not a predator.
I mean, on my Facebook, my friends and stuff, but mine, that's it.
You are on Facebook.
Facebook. Who uses that?
I'm a little boy, and I'm at the library every day trying to find a new job.
What?
Stuff of mine, that's it.
You are on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
All I do is worry about my little boy, and I'm at the
Worry about my
library
little
every day
boy.
trying to find a new job.
Yeah. So yeah, he's basically saying that he wouldn't do this often because he is worrying about his son, right? Which is what a good parent would do, right? And then also looking for work, right? Because at the time of this recording, right, at the time of this sting, right, in 2015, 2016, John Dupee was unemployed, right? He was living with his parents, and it just kind of shows what type of person he is, right? When his sister drove him to this house to meet a date, right? Which, if you're unaware, the sister had nothing to do with it, right? Sister didn't even know who, he was coming over to meet, right? What's it, John Dupee? Chris Hansen asked a pretty good question, right? He asked a good question of like, would his sister be okay dropping him off at a presumed 13-year-old girl's house home alone, right? That would be extremely weird. But yeah.
I'm a little boy, and I'm at the library every day trying to find a new job.
Did you send her those photos?
Oh God, what did he send? What did he send?
Those photos?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
And then these messages right here. Are those you?
Let's hear it. What is it? Oh, he's reading.
Is that you're just phone to phone, or is that on a social media app?
Yeah, it's phone to phone.
It's phone to phone.
You had 2 phones on you.
Yeah.
Two
So
phone,
which
baby.
phone were those text messages on?
Sorry. Right. I'm trying to help you guys out because it is extremely hard to hear, right? Having a bit of a bit of problems, right? Hearing. But, they're basically saying like, oh, were the messages mainly phone to phone, right? You know, basically through phone number, or was it through a social media app? And it seems to me like he eventually did give her, right, the decoy, his phone number, and now they're basically telling him that he had 2 phones, right? I assume one for work and one for the. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. That was a lame joke. I get it.
Smartphone because it's
Sorry,
easier to text.
guys.
So which phone were those text messages on?
The smartphone because it's easier to text on.
Oh
The
my
other one
god.
is like a prepaid, a state phone,
Okay.
and it's a pain to text.
Why do you have 2 phones?
One is my prepaid with minutes.
Okay.
The other one's that I hooked up. I just use it for Wi-Fi and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because in my prepaid I don't get Wi-Fi. And like apps and
That
stuff,
makes sense.
like Facebook, you
Yeah,
know,
I need Wi-Fi.
my email, everything. The other one I get all my apps and stuff, so that's why I use that too.
That makes sense, right?
So, do you see on...
He basically uses one phone for Wi-Fi and one for service. Prepaid phone.
So, do you see on here what makes us concerned about your intent?
Yes, I do.
And this girl told you how old was she? What did she tell you?
I'm about to turn 14.
She was still 13.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Did she send you a
13 years
picture?
old.
Mm-hmm.
And what did she look like?
Dark hair.
Did she look 13?
Like 17.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Don. Are you seriously trying to argue this shit, right? I can't believe it, right? He basically just said that. You heard it, but he said that the girl looks 17. I can't believe this. You know, I just can't believe this. John Dupee's caught red-handed, really?
Yeah.
18, yeah.
Did you tell her that?
18?
She looked older?
That's coping. That's massive cope right there. Like, to say that she looked 17 or 18 is like massive cope right there, right?
Did she look older?
I don't know if I said she was older.
What?
I said she talks, really.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Did she have to tell you more than once that she was 13?
Yeah, she told me once.
And did you believe
Once.
Um,
Classic, come on.
Not at first. No.
What?
her? But then when?
I mean, I really still had, doubts. I mean, I don't know. So a lot of people lie on there.
Oh man, that's a really good one. That's really going to dissect, right? He basically just said that, he believed her at first when she said she was 13, but then afterwards he didn't, right? Because people lie on the website or the app often, right? Which, most people lie up, but in this case, there was no lying on the decoys we have, right? She legit said that she was 13 years old, right? If she lied, she would have been like, oh, I'm 18 or I'm 19. And then when you show up at the sting house, right, and get caught, you're like, listen, look, she legit specifically told me she was 18 or 19, right? They usually lie and say that they're older, not younger, And then also, that is a very common thing for predators to actually do, right? Is the whole, she told me once, or, I actually didn't know how old she was, or she lied to me, I didn't believe her. I remember once there was a Steve Wilkos segment, right? I love Steve Wilkos. Where there was actually like a whole predator, like, talk with the predator, right? It was this kid. Maybe you can even search it up if you want. I don't know if it's still here on his channel or if you could find it. But basically, a son questions his dad's RSO status and he wonders if like he was actually guilty of what he did, or was he actually caught like how the dad claimed, right? The dad claimed legit that on the phone she said she was 19 or she was 20, like on the phone the girl claimed that she was older, but when they got there the police took them in and then said that she was 13, basically saying that they lied on the phone, that they they lied and said that they were older on the phone, right? And he got caught. Well, when they were on the show, if you've never seen the show, right, they talk down and try to get like to the the results, right, which is a lie detector test, right? And they basically see if you're lying or if you're telling the truth, right? And when the test results came in, right, it was a complete lie. The dad was like fully guilty of the crime, right? And it was pretty bad, right? Honestly, it was really sad to see his son like actually like find out that his dad was basically a sex offender, which I don't wish that on anyone, right? I don't wish people to know or learn that their siblings or their family members are sex offenders, right? That's awful. But
When you showed up tonight, did you believe she was 13?
That didn't even look like her.
No.
No.
what?
What did you think when you saw the girl?
That it wasn't her.
Definitely, man. Oh, that's such a
Stay.
lie.
Well, I didn't really.
That's a massive lie. I know I just paused it, right? But this is a watch party of some sorts, right? It's some hybrid type of watch party. But he said that when he showed up to the house, he didn't think that she was 13 years old because the decoy, right, Nervous Nelly, is not a 13-year-old girl, right? She's a 19-year-old woman. Of course, she doesn't look young, but John Dupee also claims that she didn't look like the actual person online, which, if you've seen the John Dupee segment, right, that he shows no like concern or alarm over this decoy, right? Legit, he looked like he was just completely like excited to be there, right? He was so into the moment. I think he's lying. Is what I'm trying to say.
Why'd you stay?
Yeah,
Well,
why do you
I
say?
didn't really get a chance to talk to her. She went in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll eat out the gifts that you
I
brought her.
forgot about that. I forgot that he went in for the hug and she left, man. Oh, that's one of the best parts of this segment.
She went in the room.
Yeah.
She left me.
She'll eat out the gifts that you brought her.
Mm-hmm.
Snapple.
Yes, for a hug.
Yeah, just like,
A hello
I
hug.
asked everybody for a hug when I first meet them or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
weird. That's hella
Just,
weird.
yeah.
That's
When you see
weird.
somebody,
Someone, but you said you didn't. She looked like someone you knew.
That's
So
weird.
let's play that away. When you got there, did you think that she was Bailey?
I didn't know.
You're still willing to be open
Great.
to the fact that might be Bailey.
Well, I was trying to look at her, and talk to her more, but I wasn't able to.
I'm just disappointed at this point. I'm really disappointed because this is such a weak attempt of trying to lie, right? He basically said that, I'm basically just, trying to help you guys understand this, which I'm sure you understand, but help me out here, right? He's basically saying that he was trying to figure out if this girl that he's in the house of, right? He's in this girl's house, was actually the decoy that he was talking to, right? Which I would like you to picture that, right? Imagine you're at someone's house, right? And you are not sure if you're in the right house. Like, I feel like you would know like that, right? Instantly, if you were in the wrong house, right? He is basically saying that, oh, well, I didn't know if it was her because, I didn't get to talk to her, right? Which, it sounds so dumb, right? For him to basically be like, no, it could be her, it couldn't, right? I didn't know, right? She didn't look like her, she didn't look like she was a 13-year-old girl, but...
That's when everything turned into a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. But before the nightmare was laying out the chips and the iced tea and candy bar.
Yeah.
And she was looking at you and she was excited and happy.
Jesus, don't say that.
It didn't seem like you were like, you don't look like
Bailey.
Bailey. You actually asked for a hug.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assumed it was her, but I mean, I looked at her and she did look different,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Doesn't matter,
I mean, I
though.
was hoping, I was assuming it was her, I just got the phone with her, so. But she did look different a little bit.
If she wanted to have sex tonight, would you have?
No.
Why not?
Oh,
For one, I had really, really got to even know her, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I did go there to watch, hang out, whatever. But I swear on my little boy, I wasn't going to have sex with her.
don't swear on your little boy when you're being interviewed over, meeting a minor, man. That sounds so stupid, right? Shut up. You legit... This is all an entire lie, right? If I'm sure you're aware, but... for him to be like, I saw my little boy, I was just there to watch the game, right? Definitely, man. 100%, right? I don't know how bad John Dupee's messages were, right? And eventually I do want to look at that, right, as well. But I don't assume that he legit like was clean of any like guilt, because like, you know, there is like the whole Mike Mansley treatment where like he legit didn't mention a single thing about sex, right? The entire chat log, from what I've heard, right? So in his situation, right, he definitely mentioned that. And you don't just do something like that, right? Is want, or maybe make it seem like you're actually there to do something and then not do it at the end, right? Like, imagine I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring pizza for the party tonight, right? And I've been saying this for like a couple of days, and then when I'm actually there, I don't bring any pizza. Like, really, you know, like you don't follow through with what you
I
planned.
really wasn't.
Well, then help us understand this.
What, the texting?
Yeah, I mean, what you were saying to her.
Don't read it, please.
No, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. Let me read these out. Oh my god.
That's about the party.
Oh, that scared the hell out of me.
Oh, you want her to feel you inside her.
Oh.
I mean, I know what that means to me.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have
Said no stupid shit like that.
Stupid shit like that.
And you talk about wanting to
Jesus.
make her calm.
I
Comb.
know. That was just wrong.
It was just for the game, you know. We were just gonna, you know, I was coming over for the game, you know. That's what he was saying, detective, right? He wasn't gonna do anything, right? I promise. Oh man, it legit all falls, you know, crumbling down when you hear what he said in the chat logs, right? The chat logs are mainly like the most damning evidence, I like to say, right, other than showing up. But I feel like it shows your intent the highest out of, you know, everything.
And you talk about wanting to make her calm.
I
Comb.
know. That was just wrong.
What did you think that, like, what is she supposed to read from that? Like,
Well, I mean, honestly, when I was talking to her, I mean, I was hoping that there was a chance that, you know, that it was just,
Oh my god. Please say
I
something
don't even know
reasonable.
why I said that to her.
Oh my god. He doesn't know, right? He doesn't know why he said
kind
that.
of hoping that it was going to happen.
No,
No? You were just going to say that.
no, I wasn't even planning on having sex with her.
No.
Crazy.
I didn't bring condoms, nothing. I brought food.
Do you ever have sex without condoms?
What's that?
Do you ever have sex without condoms?
Just my son's mom.
Yes.
Yeah, my son's mom. But we were together for a while.
My son's mother.
there's ways to make girls come without having sex.
Come.
So you're
She's
talking
right.
about wanting to.
She's right. I should know. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Calm because of what ex-boyfriend.
You could make her calm.
So you're talking about wanting to make her calm because of what ex-boyfriend couldn't.
Oh,
Is that at all part of the plan?
You know?
oh, that made me actually cringe. Holy hell. Oh man, I hate when they say something stupid like that. I really do, right? The whole like, you know, oh well, your ex-boyfriend couldn't do it, right? They couldn't, you know, follow through, right? But I will, you know, I promise, right? I hate that like so much. I hate when people say some shit like that because it's just so stupid. I don't know how to describe it, right? It's really cringy too. Like, well, you know, only I know how to do it. Like, shut up, yo, shut up. You know, like he's like, oh well, you know, I'm gonna make you calm because you know your ex-boyfriend couldn't. Like, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I don't know. I hate that. I hate it. I really do.
So was that at all part of the plan?
You know, I didn't have no plans of that tonight.
Do you think that a girl that you text like this thinks you're gonna have sex? That this is the way you're talking to her before you show up?
That's a good question.
We didn't talk about having, when I was going over this, and nothing about having sex.
When did these messages
Oh.
A couple of days ago, when I first, maybe a couple of days after we started talking.
But isn't it true that today's the first opportunity that she had to be alone?
What? That's a weird ass question, right? There's another detective off screen, right? If you don't know, right? There's not just a disembodied voice just talking to John Dupee, right? But I kind of like their questioning right now, but there's also a bit of flaws in there. Like, what type of question is that? Oh, is this the first time she was gonna be alone in a while, or something like that, right? A question is somewhere near that. Like, how the hell was he supposed to know, right? He's known her for a week. How is he supposed to know if this is like the first time she's been alone, like in a long time? That makes no sense. But I do like the questioning of like, if a girl were to be in this type of conversation, what, right? Do they expect sex at the end, right? That's a very good question, right? That is definitely something that they could have grasped on, right? But this other detective's like asking the dumbest question, like, oh, is this the first time she's been alone in a while or something like that? We'll bring it back just to make sure that's what he said, but that's what I'm getting from that question.
Today's the first opportunity that she
Start talking.
But isn't it true that today's the first opportunity that she had to be alone?
Okay, now that I'm rehearing it, right, understanding what he's saying, right, I kind of get it, right? He's like, this is the first time you had an opportunity to go to her home where she's alone, right? Which does make sense, but at the same time, it sounds a bit stupid because, like, you know, it almost makes it seem like this is the first time she's been home alone, right? Which John Dupee shouldn't know that, right? But I do get what he's saying, right? Never mind. I apologize, right? I know when to, you know, say I'm wrong, right?
But isn't it true that today's the
First opportunity that it was his first opportunity he had to actually go over to her home, right? Which makes sense.
I don't know. She told me that her mom went away. I mean, I don't know.
So I mean, if her mom wasn't away.
But I mean, I don't know if she had prior opportunities, you know, to be alone. I didn't really ask her.
No.
Hmm.
Do you think she would have invited you over to hang out and watch the football game if her mom was home?
That's a good question too. That's she's killing it.
Watch the football game if her mom was home.
Yeah, she asked, like, you think that she would have invited you still if her mother was home, right?
No.
No, he says.
Why?
Because it's weird.
I don't, because a guy, you know.
A guy? You're a grown man. What are you talking about, man? Bro thinks he's Chris Hansen, right? A guy. I just don't want to say anymore. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I feel like he doesn't understand his role in this, right? He's not a teenager, right? To be over like, oh, well, she's sneaking in boys from her window or something, right? You're a grown man. Stop saying things like that, right? We all understand that John Dupee is like stuck in the past, right? As you can see his fit, right? His outfit is very, ancient. I keep saying that word, but it's very old style, right? And oh man, and John Dupee, I don't know. He needs to understand the situation he's in.
A guy.
I'm a guy.
A guy, and what else?
He's too old for
her
her.
mom, and well, I mean, my age too.
I would say that would be the biggest factor.
Yeah, that would be the biggest factor, right? Is that he's a 40-something-year-old man, right? And I really forget that he legit lied about his age, right? He said he was 30 years old, even to Chris, which, most people give up the ruse, quickly when they are confronted by Chris Hansen, right? But in this segment, right, in his actual sting operation where he meets Chris, right, Chris Hansen doesn't actually, like, push him at all of his age, right? I don't know if he knew at the time, but I would like to think he did, but he just didn't want to be confrontational, right? Because let's be honest, John Dupee looks like a threat. Let's be honest. John Dupee is a pretty scary looking guy, right? I'm gonna be honest. Right? I don't think he would have pushed him, so much where he could have potentially done something, right? We don't know John Dupee, and we don't know what he's capable of, right? And neither did Chris, right? So I do understand why he didn't push him on that, but he has done that with people before, right? But yeah.
My age too.
I would say that would be the biggest factor.
Yep.
How old are you?
40.
40.
40. He looks like he's 60. Don't do drugs, kids, please. It's no good.
And how old did you tell her you were?
30.
Did you tell her that now?
Christ, a decade off of his age, and he looks like he's 60, right? I understand. I think I like to believe he used pictures that were a lot older from him, right? Like pictures when he might have actually been in his 30s, right? But for him to show up at the house looking like that, right, and say that he was 30 years old is very delusional, right? Because John Dupee looks so old.
I lied about my age because I didn't know she was lying about hers.
Crazy. That's such a crazy thing to say. I just paused it. I'm sorry. That's so crazy to say, right? Oh, well, I lied about my age because I actually don't know if she was lying about her age, right? Which I feel like you have a lot more to lose by lying about your age than her lying about her age. You know what I mean? Like, and she didn't even lie. She did not lie at all. Like, she actually did not lie. Like, it's not like she said, 18, and then she slipped up and said 19 or 13, right? It's something crazy. But he's under the perception that she lied about her age, which that's not the case. She legit said, point blank period, that she was 13, and there was no, guessing or wiggle room to say that she maybe could be lying, right? Because who, again, I'm just repeating myself, but who, goes down on age when they're lying about their age, right? Like, makes no sense.
Well, usually, I don't know. I mean, maybe I've come from a different generation. Usually when people lie about their age, they usually say they're older than they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just.
Not usually. People don't usually say they're younger than they are, do they?
They don't usually do that.
Except for a man who's 40 wants to have sex with a girl. I'd say he's younger.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
I mean,
People always lie and say they're younger than they are.
Like, only nefarious people lie about their age and go younger, right? But
I don't know.
I would like to think, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely talked about her age, so there was no disputing that she was clearly explaining to you that she was not yet 14, she was 13.
Even so, like, it's too
So
young.
you knew you were going to a 13-year-old's house where her mom was not home, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you know you had engaged in conversation with her by text, talking about what you wanted to do to her sexually.
That is so bad.
I wasn't even gonna do it though.
But even just the talk.
Yeah, even just talking about it is enough to get you with a charge, right? Like, it's called enticing a minor, through the internet, right? It's also putting a, risk of a minor, right? Risk of, what is it called? Risk of harm to a minor, something like that. Enticing a minor through the internet. There are charges like that just by doing it online, right? You don't have to actually show up to be charged with these certain things, right? But let's just keep going.
How are we to believe you weren't going to do it?
I wasn't.
Who convinced us?
Yeah, say something. Speak.
I swear I was just going over there to have some food when I lost the game.
Some food.
Do you see something
Cheetos.
wrong with just that part, though? What if she was just 13 and wanted to just hang out? What if she was just all over you and there's no parents there and you could have spent the whole night there?
I just don't want to picture that, but I get what she's saying, right? I don't want to picture something like that, right? Because it's so inappropriate. Like, beyond it being illegal, right? It's just so inappropriate to think of, right? Like, it's just too much. It's just weird. But I get what she's saying, right? Like, if the 13-year-old was very pushy, right? As it seems like most, teens growing up are, right? They're very, how can I say this? I'm just guessing at this point, but they're very, I guess just bold and rash. Like, bold and, how can I say, like, quick to temper, right? I don't know how to describe it, right? I'm using some Kratos words, right? But they seem like they don't think things through, right? So I feel like her argument does have a bit of, merit to say that this teen, this 13-year-old could have actually, like, been all over him, which is massive cat. Let's be honest, no one likes John Dupee. I don't think any girl would actually find, not even an adult girl, right, would find him attractive in any form, right? But I get what she's saying. I don't know. It's just a weird thought. I just don't want to think about that.
There's no parents there and you could have spent the whole night there. I mean, isn't that dangerous for you?
It is. It really
What
is.
did you tell your sister you were doing? Because I doubt if you told her you were meeting a 13-year-old girl.
I just said I was going to hang out with a girl.
She drove you from home.
He should have told her what he was actually doing, right? Because it legit would have saved him, like, so much trouble. It really would have saved him entirely, right? It legit would have been like, John Dupee, what are you doing, right? Johnny, my brother, right? What are you doing coming over to meet a 13-year-old girl, right, home alone? That's very strange. But, if he didn't tell her, right, he knew he was in the wrong, right? Let's be honest. Him not telling his sister is definitely, some form of guilt there. But yeah.
What did you tell your sister you were doing? Because I doubt if you told her you were meeting a 13-year-old girl.
I just said I was going to hang out with a girl.
She drove you from home up to Fairfield?
Mm-hmm.
And then what did you tell her about getting a ride home?
I thought I was going to call her and have me pick me up.
How old's your sister?
28.
28, Jesus
Did
Christ.
you like that?
Yo, I feel bad for her, yo, because I think she died like a year or two later after that, right? That's extremely young. I think she was a little sister of them, right? I think John Dupee was the oldest one. Then his brother, was it starts with a J, or am I tripping? I almost said John Dupee. Jacob? No. Nathan? No. I don't know. Regardless, his sister's 20 years old right now, right? And she dies a couple of years later. Like that's so sad. You know, that really is. Like to go that young, right? I understand like meme about the whole 25 years old, but that's really sad, right? To go out that young. But yeah, I feel bad for his sister, right?
She's good to you like that?
That's legit the only person I feel bad for, like in this entire family of Dupees, right? Other than his mother, right? His mother too. His mother and his sister I feel the worst for, right? Because I believe they put he put their house up for like a collateral for his bond or something like that, right? He never paid it back, potentially causing them to lose their entire house, right? Over John Dupee's bond and stuff, I think, or something like that. He put up their house for something, right? And then also his sister, right? He put up with John Dupee, then put up with their, drunken brother, right? Her older brother, which both of them are, her older brothers, but had to put up with, her other brother. I'm having a little bit of a stroke, but give me a second. Her brother that she was with the day she died was also like at fault a lot. Like I feel so bad for her, I really do, because she really, got effed over. Let's be honest.
She's good to you like that? She'll go back home to normal and come back to Fairfield and pick you up.
Yeah, she wasn't. I mean, we're close.
What would you do if you came home?
And I like to think that he either stayed at his mother's home or at her house. And I actually think it was her house. His sister's house that he stayed at. Man, I feel so bad for his sister. I really do.
You told your son you were going out for 20 minutes. What would you do if you came home after you told your son you were going out for 20 minutes? And you came home and there was a 30-year-old guy sitting next to your son who's 10. Not too much younger than this girl.
Jesus. He's right. It's bad.
What does that say to you?
Just watching the game, I guess.
Anything?
I know what you're saying.
Like I just don't know what makes him special for doing something like that. You get me? Like, I understand that a lot of you guys are watching right now, right? You guys believe what I'm saying, and you probably already do, right? I don't have to tell you this. But these predators, they really think that they have a special, like, social skill or, like, a sense of importance or, oh, I'm not like the other guys type of, belief where they can do it. But if that were to happen to someone that they know, right, like a niece, a nephew, a son or daughter, right, they wouldn't be okay with it, right? Like, it's such a topic brought up in, To Catch a Predator as a whole, where these men actually like full blown say, some of them actually say that they legit would not be okay with that happening, right? And would legit have told Chris, where they would be like, oh, I would actually like beat the crap out of whoever would actually do that. But then there's actually people like some of the in these things, right? Which I think it was Jeff Sokol. Which don't even get me started on Jeff Sokol. I hate him. Like, I'm not gonna say that because YouTube gets mad at me, but I actually don't like him that much. He is one of my least favorite, right? And you can put two and two together, right? And he actually tried arguing that if it was someone like Jeff Sokol, right, it wouldn't be that bad because he is a good person, right? Which I'm tired of hearing of him, right? But
what would you believe that guy to be doing?
Oh, that's a good question right there. What would he believe that the guy over at his son's home, right, when he was gone, was doing, right? Were they just watching the game, or was there something more? Kind of put it in perspective, He doesn't have an answer for it. Typical.
Have you done this before?
You know, sir?
Typical.
I never met no girl anyway.
No?
No, never.
Have you tried and it just hasn't happened?
Nope.
Yeah. So what's going on in your life that you reached out for someone now?
I mean, I just hit it off with her and just,
Great. I don't know how people say that they hit it off with a 13-year-old girl. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a bit tired of hearing like these dumbass excuses, right? But you know, as a 21-year-old like me, right? I don't think I could relate to someone who's in their teens as of now, right? I don't think I could relate to them in any form, right? The difference in generations is there. Let's be honest, it is there, right? Sometimes I don't get what they're saying, what these trends are and stuff. I don't get it. Sometimes I'm not like completely unaware and shit, but what would a 30-year-old, 40? I keep mixing it up. 40-year-old man, know about a 13-year-old in 2015, right? It's so different. Like there's nothing to talk about. What legit could you talk about? The news? Apparently sports, right? I don't know. It's just such a lie, man. Hit it off. Really?
I don't know.
Ugh.
Is this a recurring problem for you, reaching out to younger girls?
No.
I shouldn't have said yeah. Jesus, man.
Not at all, I swear.
It's like Safras Khan, right? When he legit said that he had been, and if you don't know who that is, right? It's Tennis Boy, whatever number, right? Number. Tennis Boy 13? I think that's it. Tennis Boy, right? Safras Khan. Maybe I'm getting him wrong. No, it's Safras Khan, right? He legit said that, he has a problem with talking online with underage girls, right? And that he had been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. And he was like 24, 25 or something like that. He had been doing it since he was like 21 or something like that, right? Basically, he admitted to actually having a problem, right? And he was like, oh, it's a process of me healing through this. No, there's no healing through this, right? It's called being punished, more for your crimes. I do know that he actually like served like very strange sentencing because he actually like served time and he was also like in the ICE system for like a while. So I'm not sure. But yes, sir.
Nope, not at all, I swear.
Did you know what was wrong?
Yeah, I know it's wrong.
Okay, well that's the nail in the coffin, you stupid ass. Like, I don't want to help no parent out, right? You know this. Them saying that they knew that it was wrong, it's just basically them showing that they were guilty because they knew it was wrong, right? In their eyes, it's kind of a bit of like, showing defeat, right? Kind of coming clean. But in reality, you're just, you are coming clean, but, kind of having a little bit of a guilty plea, right? Pleading guilty in a way to say that, oh, I knew it was wrong. Therefore, I was aware of my crimes and I did them anyway, In other words.
You on probation?
No, sir.
Is your case in all completed?
No.
It's still going through court?
Yeah.
Is your son with his mom tonight?
He better be. He better be, please.
Please help me.
What?
Well, how can we help you?
What the? Oh man, that weirded me out like massively. I like watching horror stuff, right? And why'd they give me like chills? He legit just said, "Please help me." What are you talking about, right? What are you actually talking about? Help you with what? Right? Like they legit just asked you where your son is, right? And you just said, "Please help me." Right? It sounds so bad. It legit sounds like you hurt him in some way. Right? It legit sounds so horrible. And I hope that this kid's with his mom, right? I really do. But something's telling me that he's not. Something's telling me that he's at home with, his sister or his mother, right? But man, that creeped me out. That weirded me out.
Please help me.
What the hell?
Tell us how we can help you.
This is creeping me out. This is weirding me out. Sorry.
Did you go to counseling?
I go Connecticut counseling.
For drugs?
Yeah. Addiction?
No. I don't know that, but I mean for anything else. You
No.
talk about anything else?
No, sir.
He goes to counseling. I don't know what for though. I couldn't hear it.
Do you think you need to talk about anything else though? Or this was just a one-time thing that's never going to happen again?
No, I want to talk to a counselor.
You want to talk to a counselor? What?
I know, I've never talked to nobody. No more.
So he claims he's never going to talk to anyone on the internet anymore, right? The internet. It's something else, you know. It really is. Like, I'm pretty defeated, right? Oh, I can only take so much of this stuff, right? Let's be honest. I'm not like some gigantic titan that can, like, you know, legit take all this punishment, right, and not like feel a certain way about it. I'm feeling a little bit like wore down I feel like I'm in interrogation, right? I feel like I'm being beaten down, right, in a different way. But you know, he wants counseling. He didn't answer where his son was at, actually, so we don't know where he's at. You know, he could legit be anywhere, right? He could be with his mom, with John Dupee's mother or sister, right? He could be in any of those locations, right? I would like to think that he's with his mom, right? I would like to think, I hope, right? His mother, right? But also, I legit would be fine if, you know, either his sister or his, you know, John Dupee's mother had the kid, right? But I do feel real bad for that, you know, for his son. I really do. You know, he has to grow up kind of knowing about his dad in this sort of light, right? You get me? Like, there's no way he's going to dodge it forever, right? He knows who his dad is, right? 10 years old, you're not, like, gullible to a lot of things, right? You know who people are, right? So, like, you're unaware of you know, having identities and facial identities, right? Being able to recognize people. So that kid would technically, he was 10 here, right? This was in 2015, 2014, 2016, right? So I'm going to guess, right? So you had 5, 8, right? He legit could be 18. He could be a whole ass adult right now, right? And I hope he's doing well, you know? Like, I feel like this would be this would be hard as hell to hear, right? That your dad was a predator in some form, right? And not just that, he was not a good father at all, I don't think. I don't think John Dupee was a good dad to begin with, right? Man.
I never talked to nobody. No more.
That's not bad again.
What other sites do you talk to strangers on? Whisper and what else?
That's it.
Really?
I have friends on Facebook.
You talk to strangers though?
On Facebook?
Yeah.
No.
Do you accept people that you don't know?
No.
What's your Facebook name?
My name's John Dupee.
Dupee.
I don't really. Facebook's all gossip.
I understand. I understand that his name isn't actually pronounced John Dupee. You know, Chris Hansen himself says John Dupee, right? But he does eventually correct himself, right? There is actually a podcast, I believe, where he actually corrects himself, right? Actually calls him by his actual name, how it's pronounced. It's John Dupee, which just sounds very stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Like, John Dupee sounds a lot better than John Dupee. You know, John Dupee sounds pretty stupid, but hey, I guess, right? It's a name, right? It's there. But the Dupee name, oh brother, that's all I can say, I guess.
I don't really.
My name is John
gossip.
Dupee.
I go once in a while see talk to my little boy. That's it.
On Facebook? That's weird. That's suspicious.
You looked at child pornography?
What's it?
You ever looked at any child porn?
No.
Oof. Just you wait, brother. I swear to God. I don't know if they have Vincent Ambrosio's one on here. I assume they do. I would love to watch that one, right? I know it's so bad. I know it's so... Almost cursed. I know it's really bad. But I want to watch it because I'm so curious to know, like, what else did he say? Because I do know that they asked him that, right? If he did had CP, like, anywhere. And he legit said that he did, right? And they read out some of his chat logs and stuff. And they also had... it was a clip on, like, the end of some... Like, we watched it on the channel, right? We watched it. But I would like to watch his because I feel like I'm so... Vincent Ambrosio is one of my favorites, right? I'm going to be honest. He is one of my favorites, right? Just because of how much he cries and stuff, right? He is one of my favorites. So I would really like to watch that and see how much else he cries. Or how much he cries and what he says and stuff. But, man, like... people that actually have, you know, that type of material on their phones and stuff, right? On their computers. They definitely scare me a lot more than people that don't, right? Of course. But like, where do you get something like that? You know, like, what is the process? What is the thought process behind that? Like, you're just so deep into it that you just cannot like escape it. You know what I mean? There is no atoning for what you did in a way. You know what I mean?
You ever looked at
There's no rehabilitating your mind, right? If you go that far.
You ever looked at child pornography?
What's it?
You ever looked at any child porn?
No.
I don't know for John
If we
Dupee.
were looking at your phone, so we're gonna find stuff on there. Maybe saved pictures of young girls or
Yeah.
boys or anything.
Nope. There's nothing on there. I never looked at anything. I swear to God.
So what's going on in your life if this happened now?
Right.
I mean, I've been single, lonely. I hit it off with her. And that was it. I've been single for.
So to just kind of recap,
Recap. TCAP recap? Question mark?
you're saying you're lonely, you know, you got along with her.
Speaking of TCAP recap, right? Right. I'm gaining on his ass, by the way. Like, I've been checking because I do know who that is. I've never seen a video of his, right? Maybe I will watch him eventually, maybe. Not on the channel, of course. I'm gonna rip him off, right? Of his commentary or anything. But on my own time, right? I'll watch him. I've never seen him. But I do know I'm gaining on his ass, right? On subscribers, right? I think I'm like, what, 200 away? You know, I'm on it. At the moment I pass him, I'll feel real good about myself. You know, but at the same time, like, the way he's done it, right, is different. I don't know. You know, he's uploaded maybe like half of what I've uploaded, and he's, you know, more popular than, more watched than me. But I don't care. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, right? I enjoy having you guys here. I'm gonna be honest. I really like all y'all. You know, all the messages you put, right? Some of you contact me personally, right? I like talking to you guys as well. You know, what else? Some of y'all are real funny. Some of y'all are real comedians out here, right? But yeah, I do see everything, right? If you don't know, right? I do actually see every comment you put out, right? Every comment you message, every reply you message to other comments, right? I see all that. I really do, right? So I hopefully it makes you happy to know that I actually do see most things. I can't reply to all y'all sometimes, right? There's some times where I'm just like on my phone while I'm like, you know, out and about in town, right? And I'm like shopping or I'm eating, right? And I go on my phone to look at what you guys are, you know, saying. I can't really reply on the time, right? But I do see what you guys are saying, right? And some of you are pretty funny, but yeah, appreciate every comment and everyone who watches, by the way. Thank you.
So to just kind of recap,
TCAP recap? Question mark.
you're saying you're lonely, you know, you got along with her, you guys really hit it off. So you, a 40-year-old man,
A
were going over to a 13-year-old girl's house with no parents there to just hang out and watch football.
Yes, I was.
Great. No one believes that.
That there's something majorly wrong with that.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah,
Like,
yes,
it's
I did.
dangerous. Dangerous for the little girl. Is it ever okay for a 40-year-old stranger to be allowed into a 13-year-old little girl's house with no one else home? What would you think if you heard about that on the news? Like, oh my God, this 13-year-old girl let in a 40-year-old stranger into her.
That's so yeah. I sometimes forget, right? I'm a little bit desensitized, right, of how bad this is sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm not like completely like, you know, gullible to how bad this really is, right? I know, don't get me wrong, but sometimes like I do forget, like, you know, what this really means for people, right? Especially for the girl, right, in question. Like, that's a lot of trauma that could come their way. You know what I mean? If they do get, right, let's say, you know, forced or they get whatever, right? You know what I mean? It's a lot, and I've heard it from people before, right? Like, you know, I've talked to people who have had the misfortune of being, you know, a victim of these type of things, right? And it's just never good, right? Of course, right? That's obvious, but you know what I mean? It could be hard, right? I really do, and I hope that's a crime that I truly hope that some people just, you know, get death sentences and stuff, right? Like, I don't see any good coming from people like that ever again, you know what I mean? The people who do certain things like that, right? There's no rehabbing them. Like, I just think that they should all just be put in a hole, right? Like, it's a bit strange hearing me kind of say things like this, right? Because I just don't want to be too forward and like too negative in a way, right? But as of now, like, I don't know. I'm kind of speaking my mind, right? Like, as any normal person would be like, right? I don't like people that do that, right? I don't like sex offenders, right? I don't like anything like that. As everyone should be, you know?
House to hang out. Would you consider that dangerous?
It's dangerous as hell.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then we throw on the fact that you're telling her that you're gonna make her come.
I forgot about that.
The inside of her.
I forgot about that fully.
But then we throw on the fact that you're telling her that you're gonna make her come. And you want to feel on the inside of her. You throw that on top of that really long situation of just going to hang out with her. I think you gotta kind of come to terms with that.
Also, like I've been thinking about this for a little bit, right? I've kind of just like softened up a little bit, right? And kind of just talking about everything that's on my mind and stuff, right? But I feel like I could put the opossum right here because I'm like I can't block the detective out. Like I feel like if I take up this entire location right for my opossum, I feel like it would be such a disservice, right? So I feel like slapping him on here, or like maybe here, like on the wall, you know, or maybe just floating up here. But we'll see what I do with this video, right? I don't plan on editing many like edits on this video because there's nothing happening. There really is nothing happening, right? All I could do is zoom into, you know, the little opossum's face when I'm saying things. But to be honest, for a video that I'm already expecting to be extremely long, I feel like it'd really do a disservice, right? Because I'm recording this on Friday, right? I'm recording this on Friday, and I really don't want to like have an entire weekend where, you know, I just uploaded Malik Washington, right? I don't want to have another day where I'm just like, you know, editing like at 5 a.m. again, you know. So this will just be, you know, me a little bit more nonchalant, kind of just hearing me a little bit, right? I know a lot of people do like just hearing me, you know, which I find a little bit strange, but I kind of get it, you know. I do like hearing some people too, right? And like what they're thinking and stuff. But yeah, we're just gonna try to make this like a, you know, a watch party. It's just you're just gonna hear my thoughts, right? Nothing too intricate is happening, right?
You gotta kind of come to terms with that.
Say again? Come to terms with what?
Situation of just going to hang out with her. I think you gotta kind of come to terms with that.
What, that he wasn't gonna just hang out with her?
And kind of admit that you would have had sex with her if she was into it.
No, I wasn't.
Stop lying. Stop lying, yo. Like, oh, man. Like, this is just so tiring. Like, John Dupee, you're not fooling anyone, right? He's not fooling anyone at all. You know, even people that aren't even in tune of what he's doing, right, could tell that he's, you know, people just watching this would have legit just told you that he's lying, right? Just so many inconsistencies and so much evidence actually against him, right? The whole, oh, she was lying about her age. You know, he specifically said that he wanted to make her, you know, blank. And, like, all the other things of, like, yo, I just came over to watch the game, right? It's very guilty talk, right? No person that's actually, like, innocent have defenses like that, right? They basically have nothing to say, right? He's been repeating himself for, like, the past 20 minutes, you know? With nothing really to add on to it.
And kind of admit that you would have had sex with her if she was into it.
No, I wasn't. I wouldn't
I
have.
don't think you were gonna like hold her down and rape her, and I don't think anyone believes that.
Maybe.
But I think if.
But to be honest, I can see it too. Like, I just don't want to picture these things, but I could low-key see that too. Like, out of John Dupee, I really could. You know, I just don't know. Man, it's very hard to say because a lot of people, they don't look like they're capable of something, right? But then they come out to have done something extremely bad, right? You see it all the time, right? Teenage killers, you know, the innocent kid at school, you know, they completely wipe out their household, right? And then, you know, police show up and everyone's dead, you know what I mean? Like, it legit can happen. It's just you really don't know what to expect from people sometimes. Like, I don't trust it. I'm not saying that I'm not trusting of people, but when it comes to crimes, it could legit be anyone, right? Everyone has a breaking point. No one really knows what someone's thinking, right? It legit could be anyone. And for John Dupee, for me to think that he would do something like that, it's not as much as I would for other people, right? I would like to think that, I don't want to think it, but you know what I'm saying? I would like to think that, what's his name? Michael Gentile would do something like that. Like, for him, I 100% don't doubt it. He would do something like that, right? Jeff Sokol, I'm more in the leaning of he would. But for John Dupee, I'm in the middle because I really don't know. Because he seems like such a scaredy predator, but at the same time, he was so happy and excited to be there. You know what I mean? We've seen the segment. He looks real excited to be there. So I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
Whether she was into it.
No, I wasn't. I wouldn't
I
have.
don't think you were gonna like hold her down and rape her, and I don't think anyone believes that.
Maybe.
But I think if she was a 13-year-old that was into you,
Somehow.
you would have been okay with that.
No, I wouldn't have.
He would've.
Sex with her. I wouldn't have.
What would have stopped you if she was all over?
Yeah, what would have
I
stopped?
just told her I can't do it.
No. Because truthfully, if for these guys, if the only thing that's stopping them from doing that is the law, you're already losing. That's already like predatory talk, yo. Because, now I'm talking to you guys. Imagine you could do something, you could commit a crime and get away with it. No one would say, "Oh, I would rather if I had I'm just gonna ask you, if you could get away with the crime, what would it be, right? Imagine if you told me that you would have blank. Wait, 13-year-old. I would be so worried. Imagine that. Imagine someone you knew is like, oh, if I could get away with any crime, I would sleep with with someone like that. You know what I mean? I would be so worried. Like the more common ones, right? I know people will joke about murder and stuff, but I feel like the only crime that would be kind of reasonable would be robbing a bank or something, right? It would be beneficial, right? Or stealing something, right? But imagine if I told you that you'd said something like that to me. That's worrying, because what I'm getting to, right, is that nothing is stopping these guys but the law, right? Sorry, I'm burping. In this occasion, right, there's nothing stopping John Dupee from doing it, right? There's nothing. Even if there was a consent on both sides, which I understand, non-adults can't consent, right? I know that, technically it's not considered consensual, right? But the two of them agreed to it, right? I don't think John Dupee has a sense of justice and law to say no, right? I don't think people that are into these type of crimes would say no. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For him to say, the detective's like, oh, if she was all over you, what would you do, right? There was nothing really stopping you. And he just says, well, I wouldn't do it because, it's against the law. Stop lying. Stop lying, because there's nothing that, if you could get away with it, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. They would technically get away with it if she would have agreed to it, right? He would have gotten away with it. But for some reason, he has a sense of justice and law to say no. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wouldn't have.
What would have stopped you if she was all over you?
Nothing would
I
have.
just told her I can't do it.
What would you have done?
I
No.
would just said I can't do it,
If he's already okay with talking to a minor like that, with all these talks, we've heard just a little bit from the detective, right? Imagine what he legit. What I'm trying to say is there's no line in the sand where he's like, I'm not gonna cross this line because it's bad. The morals are out the window. There's nothing stopping him.
And just talk.
What if she was like, well, then why do you say those things to me by text? That's why you're here. That's
She's
why she
right.
wanted you
She's
to
really
call.
good. I'm not gonna lie. She's really good.
I would have just got around it. I wouldn't have did it. I was not gonna have sex with that girl. I wasn't.
You had no way out of there. You had no car you could drive away with.
She's right. That too, man. Oh man, yeah, she's good. This is Texas really good, right? She legit just told him, right? Again, you can hear it, but she told him that there's no real escape, right? Other than walking home or walking to a gas station or something, right? I'm not familiar with the neighborhood, right? I don't know if there's I don't know what. I don't know. If he couldn't even pay for his snacks himself, right? Did he pay for his snacks? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. Maybe he did. It doesn't matter. Let's say there's an IHOP around the corner, right? He's not gonna chill there. He's not gonna be like, I can't do this and walk out and just walk in the rain or in the middle of the night because he's so inclined to the law and justice, right? It just seems so out of character for someone who legit went all this way to meet this girl. You know what I mean? He went so heavy on messages, on promising he was gonna bring stuff. He shows up. He wants a hug. He's really excited to be there. But when it comes to the actual, the proposed plan, he, can't do it and he leaves. That just seems like such a sharp turn for someone's, thought process and plans and stuff, you know.
Planning on spending the night, right?
No, I was
No car you could drive away with. You're planning on spending the night, right?
no, I was gonna get picked back up.
I know that's
You told
true.
Chris Hansen you were gonna spend the night.
No, I was gonna get picked back up.
Tonight?
Yep.
Well, downstairs you. What was they said? Your sister will call your sister if she comes and gets you.
Yeah, she was gonna come get me.
Back tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she did. She did show up to. I'll give him that. She did show up back to the house, right? I don't know what to really think of that, right? I don't think that John Dupee is a better person for like, oh, you see, like I was not gonna do anything because I plan to get picked up. But at the same time, there's no connection to the two of those things, right? There is no, well, you know, that's my massive, you know, aha moment, you know, where it's I wasn't gonna do that because my sister was gonna pick me up, right? He legit could have gone there, talked a little bit, maybe watch the football game a little bit for some reason, and then done the deed with this girl and then leave. You know, it didn't take him spending the night to do something like that, right? As well as like, you don't need condoms to do the deed. You know what I mean? There's no reason to say that that's the only way to do it, right? Some parents just don't care about that certain thing, right? They don't care about, you know, little, you know, condoms, like, you know, spending the night and stuff. So they like that's not an excuse, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't
sure.
prove you right or wrong, you know. It proves you
Back tonight?
nothing.
Her and my brother, we were there and come get me.
That's if you didn't stay over, because you said in the house that you were probably going to stay over.
He could have.
That's what you said.
Or did you guys communicate that? You and Bailey, did you guys talk about you spending the night?
No.
No. That doesn't make any difference, but
Listen, there's no plausible explanation for a 40-year-old man to wait and be in a house with a 13-year-old girl when there's no parents home. There's only one reason for a guy to do it, and that's for sex. So you can say whatever the hell you want to say, but you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You don't lie to us. We know why you were there. You're lying to yourself. Admit it to yourself, and let's get on with it. Because
This detective, I'm not gonna lie, I hate this detective. I think he's not good enough. I'm not gonna lie. He said so little things, right? This other detective that's in the room hasn't said much, but when he opens his mouth, I feel like he just doesn't know what to say, and he has no real, you know, he doesn't bring anything to the conversation, right? He legit is just begging him to just admit to his crimes. Like, that's not gonna give him anything. No one's gonna, like, there's like a 5% chance that's gonna work, you know? This female detective, I don't know her name, you know, but she's, you know, she is on it, right? She is definitely, like, you know, she's doing real good. She's doing extremely good, painting a picture and kind of putting the points down for John to say, look, you say this, but it doesn't look it, you know, and that's bad. You know what I mean? This male detective is legit talking nonsense, talking about some. There's only one thing that you could be over, you know, with a grown man over with a, you know, girl home alone, right? It's to bone, you know, like, stop talking. It's just so idiotic, and it just sounds so amateurish, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, I could have interviewed John Dupee, right? Because this detective legit doesn't have anything good to say. He hasn't said kind of anything. You know, the last thing I heard him, or at least remember him saying, is that, you know, that thing that I kind of question of the whole, like, oh, this is the first time she's going to be alone, right? That's the last thing I remember. I don't think that's the last time he spoke, but that's the last thing I remember him saying. Everything else, he just hasn't said much, right? He's either repeated himself, pointed out the obvious, or just, you know, rehashed what this female detective has said, right? So I don't know. I just think, like, it's almost when, I get it. It's like a good cop, bad cop, you know, dynamic that's kind of happening right now, right? Female detective is being nice and kind of, you know, good. The male detective is being kind of confrontational, right? Basically meaning that John Dupee would talk to the female female detective a lot more, right? That tactic does work, you know. But in this case, this detective is just pissing me off because I just feel like he's not doing a bad cop's like good. He's not doing it good, right? He's just being kind of annoying and kind of stalling, you know, for nothing. You know, he's kind of like ruining the momentum of this conversation, right? Because she was on a good, you know, path, like, you know, oh, well, like, what would have stopped you, right? And what if she wanted it, right? And how would it look? And then here comes the male detective legit just saying, like, oh, just admit it. Like, What?
Being
What?
in the house with a 13-year-old girl and there's no parents home. There's only one reason for a guy to do it, and that's for sex. So you can say whatever the hell you want to say, but you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You don't lie to us. We know why you were there. You're lying to yourself. Admit it to yourself, and let's get on with it. Because there's no other reason for you to be there.
I wasn't gonna.
You're gonna have, you could sit and watch a football game with your son. Can't you? Can't you?
Not tonight.
Can't you?
And
I do get it. Right. He is saying he could have done something. He could have watched the game with his son. Who cares? Who cares? That's not what we're here for.
football game with your son. Can't you? Can't you?
Not tonight. No.
Any other night.
Only on Sundays.
Okay, so on Sunday you could sit around and watch a football game with
You
your
see,
son.
because then you give him points. Like, I've watched so much true crime, so many police, interrogations. You give them confidence. Like, that's the last thing you want to do when you're interrogating someone, right? Is give them confidence, right? You just gave them that point, right? And that point that I'm talking about is, being like, oh, well, the reason why you're here is to watch this football game, but you could have done that with your son. And John Dupee goes, no, you're wrong, right? I couldn't do that because I only see him on Sunday, and tonight's not Sunday. Meaning John is correct, right? That's the last thing you want to do when you're interrogating someone, is give them confidence, right? You've given him confidence by saying that he's correct, right? In his mind, John Dupee's, putting that as a win for himself, right? Giving him more mental power to keep, arguing. When in reality, the female detective had him crying, right? He had him crying. He, at some point, legit just said, please help me. He was so ruined, by what was happening. And this male detective has kind of lost all that momentum by just basically making John Dupee be correct in something, This is just so amateurish, yo. Like, how do I know this, right? Or how do I feel something like this, right? And he doesn't, right? Maybe I'm incorrect, right? But this is what I've seen, right? I've seen, the channels, true crime channels say this, right? So I'm not like a, certified in police work or anything, right? But I feel like that's just the psychology behind it, right? You don't want these guys to be confident, right? In their answers, right? Because if I'm still talking about this, right? But if he's like, oh, well, I was already correct about my son, thing, I'm gonna be correct again by saying, oh, I wasn't gonna do anything, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I couldn't see with my son, so that's why I came over to watch it with this girl, because I was planning on watching the football game, and that's all I wanted to do, right? Just watch the game. I couldn't do it with my son, so I'm gonna do it with this, person I met online that I got along with. You know what I mean? It's just a loss all around.
Only on Sundays.
Okay, so on Sunday you could sit around and watch a football game with your son.
Unless he reels it back, he's lost here massively.
Bring him a chocolate bar and all the other stuff that you brought over there, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't you? You could, absolutely. But no, you chose to come to Fairfield from Norwalk on a rainy Thursday night to sit down with a 13-year-old girl whose parents were home to do what? To do what? Be honest. To do what? No. To do what?
To chill and watch the
To
football
do
game.
what? No,
See,
not
look,
chill.
see what I'm saying? Look at John Dupee. You can tell he's confident, right? Like, I don't know if he's been sitting like that for a while. He has. Never mind. But John Dupee has, in his mind, given that excuse, right? So he now thinks he's correct. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, like, this is just so bad. This is so bad. He legit has it in his mind that he's correct in that, right? Because that's the last thing you want, is that these guys actually convincing themselves that they were actually going to do that, right? Because that's like, there's no turning back from that point, you know what I mean? Once you convince yourself of something, right, it's just very hard to, not think that, right? But as it stands right now, the detective's like, oh, well, just say what you're going to do when you came over after, trekking the 2-hour, drive to Connecticut or whatever, right? You know what you're going to do, right? And in his mind, he's like, well, I was just correct about me not seeing my son, and I wanted to really watch the game, and I already said that I wanted to watch the game with the girl, right? So that's why he said right now, he wanted to watch the game with this girl, you know what I mean? If he was still under all the pressure, maybe he legit could have said, I don't know. And that's a massive win for the detectives. But as it stands, John Dupee is winning in this interrogation, section, you know what I mean?
Watch the ball game with her. To eventually have sex with her.
I was
You
not
were
gonna.
hugging her within the first minute you're in the house. You're trying to hug her. You're pushing yourself on her right in front of us. She didn't want to hug you. She didn't do anything to indicate she wanted a hug from you.
See, that's good. That's good questioning. You know what I mean? Instantly, Like that, right? Instantly, she switched the topic because this wasn't going anywhere. The male decoy just spent like 2-3 minutes accusing him and just begging for him to admit to his crimes. Like, that's not gonna work. Like, you gave him confidence for nothing. Nothing was gained from it, right? And in this situation, when you get this confrontational, right? You know, a bad cop, good cop, it works, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And usually it takes for the bad detective to leave, you know, the good cop and the suspect alone so that they open up. That's usually how I've seen it work. But in this case, the more he gets pushed, the more he gets aggravated, the more he gets, you know, confronted. If John Dupee was any smarter, he would have lawyered up right now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this isn't going anywhere, right? You guys are just attacking me. I want to get a lawyer. You know what I mean? That's when you lose. But luckily, John Dupee isn't thinking that, right? Because I feel like the female detective has broken him down enough to kind of get that out of his mind. You know what I mean? Right now, he's trying to prove his point. But when the male detective was talking with him, right? He was being correct when he shouldn't be, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a massive, like, mental fight, right? But forgive me.
You shouldn't do anything to
like, I'm getting really into this. I'm so sorry.
You were hugging her within the first minute you're in the house. You're trying to hug her.
Yeah.
You're pushing yourself on her right in front of us.
That's real good right there.
She didn't want to hug you. She didn't do anything to indicate she wanted a hug from you.
Nope.
You
Nothing.
went at her.
Look at that. That is good right there. That is good. It went from blaming him to being like, well, you know, you say you weren't going to force yourself on her, right? But you did in this way, you know what I mean? And she points out the things that he did, which aren't refutable, right? That did happen, you know? Like, that's good. That's good.
Anything
That's
to
good right there.
indicate she wanted a hug from you. You went at her.
Yep.
Do you even realize that?
Well, I think we should ask her for a hug.
Right, but you're getting physical, and you're trying to tell us, no, I wasn't
Yup.
doing anything. I just want to hang out and watch the football game. But
Yup.
you were getting physical with her in the first 60 seconds you were in
Yup.
the house.
Man, I could clap right now, but I'm holding the mic. That was really good, right? That was really good. Like, I like this detective a lot, right? You know, she's doing really good, you know, painting him in the wrong, because that's what you have to do, right, with these type of people, right? I don't know. I like it.
Well, you were getting physical with her in the first 60 seconds you were in the house.
Yep.
No, I was just saying, like, hello, you know, like, a hello hug.
She didn't want it.
Baby, she's 13-year-old little girl.
Yes, that is so good, man. That is so good. Look at him. He's holding his forehead, right? His forehead, you know, riddled with the worry or whatever he said, right? Whatever Chris said. This is real good, right? She just said, oh, she was a baby, right? She's a little 13-year-old girl, right? For that to be, oh, I'm a 40-year-old man trying to hug, you know, a teenager is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's not impossible, right? You can, like, be, you know, on good terms and stuff. You can be like a teacher, right? A favorite teacher and stuff. You know, it's not impossible for that to happen, right? But in these circumstances, right, that shouldn't happen, right? It's just she's doing a real good job, right?
Seconds you were in the house.
No, I was just saying, like, hello, you know, like, a hello
She's
hug.
a little baby. She's 13-year-old little girl. Who does that? And talks about sex with her like that.
See, look, he's hella quiet. You know, it's working. Like, you're able to see this in real time. Like, it's working.
Hello
She's
hug.
a little baby. She's 13-year-old little girl.
Like, he was trying to find an excuse, but he couldn't. He's
Who
quiet.
does that? And talks about sex with her like that. After even seeing a picture of her, she's a little girl. Do you see that in the pictures? Do you see she's a little girl? Look. Does that look like a football buddy?
I have football buddies, but they're usually
Oh
guys,
my
man.
god, don't stop. I hate this male detective, yo. Oh my god, he sucks. He sucks. I have male buddies, but they're all adults. Shut up, man. They're so annoying. Like, she was on a roll. She legit had him speechless. But he's legit gonna talk. I feel like he's gonna say, well, I also have, you know, buddies to watch football with, and they're all adults, so this and that, right? He's ruining this shit for me, yo. Wait, look at him. He looks like he's crying. Oh wait, I've muted it. Hold up, wait. Is it options? I don't know. I'm just gonna unmute it. Boom.
Football buddy?
It doesn't.
I have football buddies, but they're usually guys that are at the bar.
Great. Okay, what'd that bring? Stupid detective man, I hate him.
John,
John.
listen. You need to admit things that you
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, I know some of you really like are also into true crime, right? And I feel like, please let it be that I'm not the only one feeling this, right? Because he legit seems to be on the verge of breaking, right? He's crying. And in these situations, from what I've seen from good detectives, is that they let this simmer or they leave the room. That's usually how these things work. They're like, I need you to sit and think about that, right? And then they leave. And then guess what? They sit there, they cry, you know. People that are more like, you know, mentally fortified, right? They sit there and think still. They think, you know. But as of now, they're not letting him stew in his own thoughts, right? He's being, you know, they're not going to push him to the edge. They're not going to do that. The only way it's going to work is that it comes out as an emotion, right? But as of now, he's just being quiet. Like, it's the freeze response in a way, you know. He hasn't moved like much. He's been in this position kind of the entire time. He is just taking all his punishment and he's not saying much. What they should do is that they should, you know, be quiet, be completely silent, right? They either be completely silent or they leave the room, right? They're silent, and guess what? You know, human psychology, right, makes you want to not be in a room silent, right? It like, people hate silence when they're with people, right? So he's gonna want to talk, and the shit he's gonna say is not gonna make any sense, and that's when they attack, right? Talking about some, oh, John Dupee says maybe, I don't know, that's why, you know, I wanted to go to the bars, but they were all closed. And then the detectives are like, closed? Bars don't close, you know. It's a Friday, you know, it's Friday night. People are out in the bars. What are you talking about, right? And they catch him in a lie. That's how they should have done it. You know, this is like, you know, what is it called? Like armchair, you know, psychologist or whatever it's called. Armchair, you know what it's called. You know, I don't know anything about like detective work, but I've seen enough to feel like I know what could have worked here. But I'm having a blast, you know.
You need to admit things that you did to yourself.
Then with this, he didn't break, you know, before when you said it the first time.
So that you can get on with your life. By sitting here and bullshitting us, which we're not believing.
And cursing doesn't help, by the way.
If you're there to watch a football game, it's crap.
It's crap. It's complete bullshit. You cannot do this. Look
So
at
if
this.
you want any chance of making a phone call and getting out of here tonight, tell us why you were really there, and then we'll get on with it.
Like, really? Unless he breaks, I'm going to look real stupid, right? But do you really think that would have worked? You tell us the truth and you'll be out of here. Like, everyone in their mind knows that's not how it works. You know, let's say he did actually say, fine, I was there to, you know, have sex with this girl, right? That would not get him out of here. Like he still has enough, you know, what is it called? Resilience? No. What is it called? I think it's called, no, it's not resilience. Is it? Whatever. He still has enough, you know, mental strength to not admit to his crimes, right? When that shouldn't be the case. It should be like, look, once he tells the truth, there's going to be like a massive, you know, 1,000-pound weight lifted off your chest when you tell us the truth. You know, we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. This is the path to healing. That would have worked because I feel like John Dupee isn't one to be bullied. Like, he legit started crying when he first got here. Like, this should have been an easy case, but they keep bullying him, right? It hasn't worked. Like, some of these guys, you just have to like act as a ally when, you know, they're in these situations almost, right? Like, I don't know. Legit, if they would have given him just like 2 minutes of silence, right? He legit would have maybe said, you know, maybe I was there for that, right? You know what I mean? It would have been so easy, but they don't leave silence.
So if you want any chance of making a phone call and getting out of here tonight, tell us why you were really there, and then we'll get on with it.
I told you, I wasn't gonna have sex with her.
See? Look. I think he's convinced himself that he's gonna watch the game. You know, I think there's no point. There's no return from this. He's already convinced himself.
So you were lying in the text messages?
What?
Were you lying to her in the text messages?
That's good.
Then?
I didn't plan on doing anything with her.
Why did you text her those things?
You know what I think? I think he's inadequate. He couldn't have sex with her. You know, he didn't want to have sex with a 13-year-old because he couldn't have sex with a 13-year-old because she's afraid that she would probably show him what to do.
This is just so stupid. Like, oh, I feel like slamming my I feel like breaking my screen. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of my life. Like, you know, it works with people that are egotistical, right, and full of themselves. It works. It really does. Like, if you would have told people like John Dupee Jeff Sokol, something like that, it would have worked, right? It legit would have worked. Someone like John Dupee who doesn't already have enough self-esteem, right, it would have not worked. He doesn't care about that, right? He just legit does not care about his self-image, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, that is so idiotic. That is so stupid. Don't you agree, guys? Like, realistically, you really think that John Dupee would have cracked over you telling him that his pee does not work? Like, seriously? That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard, man. That is so dumb. Like, seriously, that is so. What's the basis from that? What do you expect from that level of interrogation? What is he gonna say? Oh, my penis does work. Like, okay, like what are you talking about? You like, did you expect him to legit jump up and be like, you know what? You're lying. You know, you're not telling not telling the truth. You're not. That's not true, because I actually would have showed that 13-year-old girl how to do it. I was gonna do her this way, this and that. Like, that wasn't gonna happen. That is so idiotic.
Because he couldn't have sex with a 13-year-old.
Look, he's like, I hope. Look. I think he's not gonna say anything after that. Watch this.
Probably show him what to do, and that wouldn't make him feel very well about himself. Probably make him feel worse.
Look at this. Look, what I tell you. Look, he doesn't care. Look at this. Look at this. How do I know this and he doesn't? Like, John Dupee does not care. Like, he's already at the lowest point. Oh, man, I'm just yelling. This is so frustrating. Because, look, I've legit predicted it. I haven't seen this before. I've predicted it. He's not going to say anything. Because what do you say for that? What do you say from that? This guy has been beaten down by the other person. And I'm pretty sure he's legit completely, you know, how can I say this? Like, blocked out this male detective. I'm going to be honest. I truly think that he's blocked this detective out completely now. Because he legit hasn't said anything. He hasn't responded to him. He doesn't care to respond to him anymore.
Probably make him feel worse.
Dumb, yo, dumb.
Is that the deal?
So amateurish. Look at this.
I
Look.
wasn't gonna have sex, but I don't even know why I said those things.
Look at that. Look at that. So stupid. So weak.
Well, you got yourself in a bad situation, and the only way I can figure out is that you're going to get any kind of, like, funneling toward help versus being hammered.
Good.
Is if you can take responsibility for why you were there.
No, never mind. That's not good. You don't tell them they should take responsibility. Most adults don't want to take responsibility, right? People hate responsibilities, right? You should have been like, look, this is the way to heal, right? This is a lot on you, right? And then that forces them to say, yeah. Because what are they going to say? No, this isn't a huge weight on me. This isn't, stressful for me right now. Like, oh, man, how do I know this? I legit could have cracked this guy in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It would have been so easy. But why are they suck, they suck. Like, I've seen some good detective question. I've seen some of the most, like, Batman and Robin-ass detectives out there that were, like, the James Watt. Is it the James Watt? James Watt, that dude that, like, murked his entire family, right, and threw him into oil cans and stuff. Those detectives were on it, yo. They were good as hell. They were like on the same wavelength and everything. And I've seen some really bad detectives, right? Some that actually even ruined the case. In this case, like, they don't know how to respond. Like, it's so easy. What is needed from here, right? He needs compassion to let it out. Like, him being bullied is not gonna do anything.
And then you're going to get kind of, like, funneling toward
I'm getting
help
real into
versus
this.
being hammered. Is if you can take responsibility for why you were there.
Because that wouldn't help him. Taking responsibility wouldn't help him. He would just be more bullied for being a predator. You know what I mean?
And admit you have a problem.
He's a drug addict. You really think he's going to admit that he has a problem now? Christ,
and then people can start helping.
Look. He doesn't care. Look at
You
this.
say all these things by text behind the computer screen where you put your body right there. And then now you say, oh no, I wasn't really going to do it. I just want to hang out.
Hey, these people stay. Never
Do I
mind.
have a body?
What do you say?
Do I have a body?
Look at this, yo. Oh my God. What did I say? Oh my God. He has legit completely disregarded the entire interrogation because he's not getting anywhere with them, right? They're just bullying him. And don't get me wrong. like, I'm not saying that they're in the wrong here, but they're not being efficient. They're not getting the information that they need to get out of them, right? Sometimes you need to be allies with the suspects, even if you don't want to be, right? That is your job. In this case, he has completely just, how can I say, like, he's just disregarded or dismissed this entire interrogation already. He's like, how much is my bond? He's pulled out of being isolated in this completely blank room with two detectives in front of him, away from the door, and just said, where's my bond? He basically just says, I don't want to talk anymore. You know what I mean? It's pretty much what he's saying. Oh man, they flopped this hard, yo.
Do I have a bond?
Do I have a bond?
They probably have a bond. You have criminal history too, right?
And they can't lie.
You ain't got a pending case. How were you
About
out
that?
on your other case?
I can't really get a PTA.
How were you out on your other case? Were you out on a PTA or a bond?
A real estate bond.
Well, either way, it was part of the condition of your bond.
Oh, there it is. What I said a while back, where, he put his mom's house on the line from his other interactions with the law. It might have been drugs, or it might have been like something else, but
The condition of bond, that you don't get arrested.
yeah. So he doesn't get arrested. So
You're out on bond, you sign a form that says, I will not get in trouble, I will not get arrested, correct?
That's true.
I've never been in trouble before besides that, so I don't
But
know.
that's not the question.
Look, I'll take it back. They legit could have not cared as much as to get information out of him, if it meant that he had that, like, don't get in trouble again rule, because no matter what, that legit would have been his last chance to be free. They basically have him guilty without him being without him actually saying he was guilty. Him having him bailing out himself, right, being on bond and real estate, whatever he said, right. Basically, they told him, do not get in trouble again, or you will come back to jail, right, and you'll actually stay here. Now that he's in trouble again, he has to be in jail, right? There is no getting out of here. There's no talking yourself out of this, right? You're basically committed a crime without needing to be, said that he was, he committed a crime, but...
When you sign a bond to get out, you're signing that you will not get in trouble while you're out on bond. Yet here you are, getting arrested. So how can we let you out on a PTA when the bond says you shouldn't commit a crime? Plus,
Yeah.
like Beth said, you want help, there's one avenue. You don't, you can't help people that don't want to help themselves. We're going to try to tell you. If you want to help yourself, we'll get you the help. We'll write it in a report, and when it goes to court, they can get you the help. If not, drug cases, this case, North Avenue is in your future. Is it going to be counseling or North Avenue? You decide.
What's my bond?
So
They
we'll
just
decide
so
that
bad.
ourselves, won't we?
They don't have his bond yet, because they
What
haven't
would you
charged
like your
him.
bond to be?
Yeah, like, they can't give him a bond because he has not yet been charged with anything, right?
Whose real estate bond is that? Your sister?
Yeah, no.
In his mother's house, which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his mom lost
Well, what was it?
everything.
How much?
140,000.
$140,000 for the real estate bond.
No, that was sales.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to tell us? Anything else?
This is so tiring.
What did your tattoo say? Everything happens for a reason.
Tell us what this reason is.
They're so mean, right? That's so funny, though. His tattoo says everything happens for a reason, right? And the male detective is like, well, what's this reason? Oh, he's so
That's really
dumb.
good. I'm not that guy.
Not that bad of a guy.
But you haven't convinced us that you're not. Until you say something to convince us. That's all we have to go on.
You said all those things, and we came to your door and knocked on your door and said, you're a bad guy because of the way you were talking to this girl. you saying I would never have done anything with her, I never would have done anything I said, that's more believable because we're at your house. You never took the actual moves of coming to the 13-year-old.
A little bit.
Made a plan and you
They're basically saying that because, you know, if he would have not gone through with going to the house, they could have, you know, gone to his door and be like, look, you were going to do this. But since he didn't do it, it would have been less of a charge. But I feel like they still would have gotten them anyway over that, you know, breaking the rule thing of being on bond, you know, because that's different.
To come to see this girl knowing she was alone, knowing her age, knowing what she looked like. And knowing you discussed having sex with her and teaching her.
They tried their best. They really did, but they couldn't get him. He was already crying from the start, so like it's not like they broke them down anymore.
Anything else you want to know, John?
I am innocent.
Just please help me so I can get out of here. Now my mom and my son want me to find out about them.
What?
Stand up.
Yeah, that's that.
Turn around. And behind your back.
Christ. This fucking bald-headed bastard, you know? Ruined it, yo.
My keys again.
I forgot my keys again.
Oh, I
I'll take them like that.
I'll just double squeeze.
Great. This is
All right,
TikTok
John,
so
come.
shit.
You get upstairs.
Okay, John, let's go.
Done.
That was so bad. There's more. Oh, what is that? I hated this. You know, in the beginning, I kind of didn't know really what to say, but after that, I kind of tried to analyze what they could have done right to maybe have them break. But I did enjoy watching this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go too on after, right? Because I feel like we've been recording for a while. But you know, it was good. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, right? But it was mainly kind of analyzing what the detectives could have done, right, on my behalf. But you know what John Dupee was saying, right? It's kind of what we kind of heard on when Chris interviewed him, right? But you know, it was fun hearing him again, I guess, right? But yeah, if you liked the video, right, please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, right, please tell me because I don't know if people want to see something like this again. But we'll catch you some other time and have a good day. Bye.